Hi guys, welcome back to G Sport Cars. It's Gavin here. Just another quick video blog for you. Today we have Yasirs RX7 FC in for tuning today. Yasir's car has been in before, running pretty much standard, and he's made some changes. So today we've given another quick tune up on the dyno, and if you come with me, I'll show you around the car. The dog wants to look as well. So this is Yasirs FC RX7, proper old school car, and of course running the 13B Mazda rotary engine in there as well. Yasir had the car in before here, running more or less standard. I think it had the front mount intercooler and bits and bobs, you know, some airflow mods, but pretty much standard before, running standard boost, being around 230 horsepower, something like that. The engine has had a fresh rebuild, although it's rebuilt back to stock specifications, stock ports and everything like that. So he's now running a hybrid turbo. He has bigger 720cc injectors. He has a 3-inch straight through exhaust from turbo back, all the usual bits and bobs, and there's a bit of boost control in there as well. Yeah, the car's healthy enough, and Yasir is running a Microtech engine management, which I'll show you in here as well. Microtech isn't particularly popular over here, it's not particularly well known. So this is our Microtech. Hold on, I'll turn the screen. It's a bit better. Bit of focus there as well, so I'll just turn the ignition on. We'll see what we have. So Microtech isn't that well known over here. I believe it's fairly popular in the US drag scene. It's right up there with the likes of Motec and stuff like that. This is a Microtech LT8S, which is an older ECU. Everything's done originally done with the hand controller, and the hand controller would look like this sort of display here, and these would be the buttons. So as you see when I scroll through the keyboard here, you know, you see the buttons flick red to blue. So it's a bit of a different setup. This software, the interface when you first use it can be quite strange compared to what you may used to be using, and the reason is because you don't have your conventional layout of sort of 3D maps and that sort of thing. Everything is running in 2D and on different tables. So here's a fuel table for your idle map. I'll try and get that closer there again. So just try and focus. It doesn't want to focus there, but what we have there is this is the idle map fueling, and we have our manifold pressure along the bottom, and again represented by these. This is what you would see, I assume, on the hand controller. Possibly you would go through each one of these settings, and you can click left and right through each one. You can put it into program mode as it goes red, and you can then increase and decrease and so on. So that's a simple idle map. Take it out of program mode, and we'll go to, this is a 1000 RPM map, which is basically the same idea. So you have all your manifold pressures along the bottom, and this is a representation of every manifold pressure at 1000 RPM. So obviously up at, you know, 16 psi and 20 psi, you're never going to see that at 1000 RPM, but all these other sites need tuned, and they're sort of set with a best guess. But you go right through every single map, 2000, 3000, 4000, and so on and so on and so on. And then we have a wide open throttle compensation map which is on a percentage basis. So you have a certain percentage of fuel compensation when going through the RPM here on wide open throttle. So it's a bit different. You know, it's different than what you would usually see, and the tuning, you know, the theory behind it is the same, but the process that you go through is slightly different in that you don't have a 3D map to play about with there. So you need to, your process is slightly different. And again, down the bottom here we just have all the live gauges and so on. The engine's off there, but you'll see TPS on the left there just when I push the throttle. But it also does data log as well. It's a very basic data log setup in it, but it does do the job, and it seems to work well on this car, and it gives good enough results. So if you keep watching, I'll do a quick dyno run here and you can get a look at the car in action. Come with me. Hold on, I'll just knock this engine off. Alright, bear with me here again. I'm gonna have to do my three-handed trick here and try and hold the camera and use the keyboard. So we have two runs on the screen there. Let me just focus again. That's better. That run that you just watched there is the top run, and you'll see it was showing 288 horsepower, which is reasonably good. That was about 4 horsepower up on the previous best we had there a bit earlier on, and 271 foot-pounds of torque. On the rotary engines, there's a bit of a, you know, there are a few considerations to take into account. They generally like to run much richer. This is more to do with trying to keep them a bit safe and keep them more reliable. So you'll see our fuel ratio here drops briefly into the 9s here, which is maybe a little on the rich side, but generally hovers about the mid-10s, which is richer, which is about a whole 1 AFR richer than what you would have for a piston engine. They just like to be a little richer there to try and stave off any chance of detonation. You also have to be quite cautious when you're adjusting ignition timing on these. You do not want to have any sort of detonation whatsoever, because the apex seals on the rotaries just do not like it at all. Pretty much any detonation will just about kill a rotary engine, so you have to be quite conservative You really do need a dyno to tune these. I wouldn't advise tuning ignition timing on one of these out in the road. You do need a dyno, and you need to be quite careful. You need to really be methodical about it, and you sort of like to keep it a little way off, you know, a little bit away from peak torque. So a rotary engine is never really going to see its full peak torque potential. It's always going to be slightly reduced, which is just the way you want it, because at least then it's kept safe, and there's no real risk of it detonating and suffering sort of catastrophic engine failure. So that's a decent enough result. That was at about 0.95 bar of boost there, on a hybrid turbo, so that's reasonable enough. You probably could have maybe squeezed it to about 300, but again, on one of these engines, there's no point for an extra 10 horsepower. There's really no sense. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.